おう。移送も全部、電車姫様がご手配くださったのか。
はい、ストーブ客車、明日にもお人よに届くそうです。しかも、議案通過がならなくても、返却不要ってこと
で。なんとも力強いご応援だな。議案がもしも通らなくても、諦めるなということだ。
ですよね、やっぱ
Didn't
り。
hear that. Sotetsu knows right away. He always sees the situation so clearly. That usually feels incredibly reassuring and helpful. However, today I don't like it. Why is he always acting exactly the same way? My head's still a bit hazy. I had become so serious when talking to the train princess, but then when I saw Sotetsu's face, I felt soft and drawn to him.
だが、ご無用な気遣いだ。議案は必ず通過できる。
Rip. His hand is hot as he clutches mine. It's not just warm, it's definitely hot. Sotetsu's temperature should be lower than mine. Sotetsu isn't being his usual self. Is it nervousness? Excitement? His hand is not only hot, but it's shaking a little. Shaking a little.
大丈夫。私に任せてください。
I know he's got a fucking fever or something. When I figure that out, I suddenly become calm. From deep in the pit of my stomach comes courage, rising up.
どれほど反対されたって、必ず議案を通過させる。私たちには、私たちなら、それができます。
Not I, we, because Sotetsu is here so close to me. Sotetsu seems different from usual, but he's still here for me.
おっと、時間になるな。
Our hands unravel, and he hands me documents instead. Even here, he's like this. Even if he feels nervous, he always does his job as secretary perfectly.
これでいいか。他に準備することがあったら言ってくれ。
Listen, you need to keep your professionalism in the workplace, alright? Just because you're dating now doesn't mean that you can be all lovey-dovey in front of other people, alright? Their preparations are great, but there's something amiss. We finally are able to become lovers, but... I wait, but nothing comes. Sotetsu stays where he is, still silent. He doesn't understand at all. His face shows that he's troubled or perplexed. We're lovers, and we're about to get to the assembly. It's the battlefield of assemblymen.
忘れ物。
え?
I mean, I knew she wanted it, but like I said, professionalism. You don't want people seeing that you're kissing your secretary, all right? That will spark controversy, is all I'm saying. And then just go for it yourself. Sotetsu taught me that. It made me remember. It's also because he's a dense motherfucker, so like, you know, probably wasn't on his mind. We were allowed to want something.
Ah.
I only intended for a quick peck, but the moment I let go, Sotetsu delivers a kiss to me. A passionate kiss. I have to fix my lipstick later in secret.
もう忘れ物はないか。
He's being bashful. I can tell Sotetsu is really bashful. In fact, that makes me happy for some reason. Courage starts to manifest itself inside of me. I've become a girl that can make Sotetsu feel emotional. You're fucking dating him. I would expect that. What? Sotetsu was like an impregnable fortress. Not even the most impenetrable assembly members is as strong as he is.
行ってきます。
Right. The hearing up until this point has been going well. She's calm, and I don't see any sign of any sort of agitation in her. She may be finding courage somewhere. Yeah, in your kiss. Listen. Just because you didn't read her thoughts doesn't mean. Never mind. From the public gallery, I see her making a face that I don't usually see. Hachiroku, Hibiki, Reina, Fukami, Nagi, Magura, Old Man Minokasa, and even Reverend Akai with his crew bag is here. This is good. The proposal for the application of the Akai Aso Shrine as a cultural property will probably be unanimously agreed upon. Even Hosho Mototada is here. Interestingly enough, though, I don't see Kisaki anywhere. Mototada's presence has probably made the aircraft supporting assemblymen nervous. Even so, Pollitt's hearing today should definitely get the vote of all the neutral assemblymen.
お人よ市民の会、篠原くん。
はい。市長、よろしくお願いします。
Alright, this is your time to shine. You fumbled the first time, you get a second chance.
お願いします。
The last one to do the questioning is Assemblyman Shinohara. He's a senior assemblyman known as the living dictionary of the Yohitoyo Assembly. What?
マイントレジャー計画について、これは助成金を見込まれての事業となられますか。
技術継承炭鉱にかかる助成金の申請を提出しようと現時点では予定しております。
旧術船炭鉱も助成金を頼りに運営されていたことを知っておられますか。
その点、勉強させていただきました。国内炭保護のための助成金を22期連続で。
石炭需要がのうなったと、そいば打ち切られたとき、術船炭鉱の命脈もまた尽きたとです。
承知しております。
The old assemblyman's wrinkles grow deeper. Beneath his pure white brow, he stares straight at Paulette.
助成金に頼っての経済復興は、過去の過ちば繰り返すだけと、市長は思われませんとですか。
ご懸念、ごもっともと存じます。が、助成金がなくとも、マイントレジャーは採算を取れる計画となっております。
Paulette holds out the flipboard.
初年度の来場者数を20万人確保でき、年 10% の増加を3年継続できれば、4年目からは単体黒字に到達します。
What, 200,000? Hang on. Hang on. I need to... What's the math on that? 547 people a day. Listen, I think we've already established how small Hitoyo is. I don't think 500 people are listen, 200,000, I don't think that's viable, alright? For the last year, the number of tourists that took lodging in Ohitoyo was 400,000. What? Okay, I guess there's something special about Ohitoyo then that I'm not seeing, and apparently the visual novel isn't either. Because we spent the first half of the visual novel of her route finding something that would market Ohitoyo, right? Hang on, I didn't read the rest of that. There are also guests who use tourism facilities without using lodging. That number. There are also guests who used tourism facilities without using lodging. That number 300,000. Okay. The expected number of 200,000 is not an exaggeration.
廃炭鉱に20万人もの人が訪れるとは思えませんが。
Well, yeah, that's why you make it a fun experience. I know why I was forgetting the word.
単なる廃炭鉱ならそうでしょう。しかし、それを魅力的なものとするためのテーマパーク化です。
Another page to the flipboard instead of charts. This part is comprised mostly of photos.
これは滋賀県長浜市の白壁スクエアの写真です。街並みそのものをテーマパーク化した成功例です。
Well-known white walled town reminds one of the key words history and art. By devising their method, the number of tourists jumped and exceeded 1.8 million people last year.
地元の人間にとってはありふれた光景であっても、観光客には見たことのない景色です。
ありふれたではなか。目にしたくない光景ばい。
This is what it means to have a guttural voice. Assemblyman Shinohara's voice dries out, but is filled with a sort of sadness. He rings out his words as the other assemblymen nod in agreement. This is exactly what Kisaki warned us about. This is one of the scars of Ohitoyo itself.
お人よが術戦炭鉱にどれほど多くを注ぎ込んだか。その誤った判断のあれは醜か残りかすたい。
Yeah, well, that's because you didn't get with the times, old man. The fucking trains stopped working, so I wonder why the coal mine was not making any profits.
いいえ、篠原議員。
But Paulette stands her ground. Sadness and regret are not enough to make her words and voice waver. Not this time. Last time it's because she was overworked. This time it's because she's got some dick.
誤った判断だったと、そう結論づけるにはまだ早すぎます。
That scar has been preserved for decades. Yet Paulette denies head-on that it's no scar.
技術継承炭鉱としての女性をほぼ確実に受けられると。これは水面下でのお墨付きをいただいてます。
じゃけん、助成金に頼るようでは。
考えてみてください、篠原議員。技術継承炭鉱にどのような炭鉱が選ばれるかを。
Yes, out of the many coal mines in the nation, it's not easy to be chosen as a technology succession coal mine.
術戦炭鉱は廃鉱のギリギリまで設備投資と技術錬磨とを惜しまなかった。
What Assemblyman Shinohara thinks is a wrong decision is how they didn't know when to give up. Looking at it from another perspective, that means they didn't hit the brakes until the very end.
その設備は放棄されず、再稼働を信じて保存された。再開発の手は及ばず、一体すべて欠けるものなく残された。
That's why everyone turned their backs on this scar, this raw scar. But as someone from the outside, we see just how rare and valuable it is.
技術継承炭鉱としての再稼働には、炭鉱労働者だった方々の再雇用が必須となります。その方々とテーマパークの従業員となる若者たちとの交流は、 お人よに新たな活気を呼ぶはずです。
The aircraft supporters in opposition and the generation who were part of this powerlessness. One of the causes of Ohitoyo's long stagnation is most likely a result of this rupture between the generations. Yeah, but isn't that like everywhere?
術先炭鉱にはまだ多くの石炭が眠り、それだけにとどまらぬ無数の価値が眠っているのです。
We've dug it up. We'll call forth the power that's sleeping in Ohitoyo, as well as get the help of tourists.
術先炭鉱の再評価は第三者によって行われるべきです。国により、観光客により、若者により。
By putting the spotlight on mine treasure, many people's attention will turn to it.
お人よのかつての判断が決して過ちではなかったと、それが証明されることを私は確信しています。
見てみんふりば。わしらしてきよったということか。
That's right, old man. You're in the wrong. It's the same, just like Paulette and me yesterday. Because the scar ran so deep, we didn't even think a revaluation was possible.
いけんの。疎外なことではいけん。
That is more a sigh of grief than a question.
術先炭鉱の再検証なしにエアクラ工場を誘致して目つむったまま手羽引いてもらおうとしておったのか。
Paulette out here really playing with this guy's emotions. An uneasy murmur rises from the crowd, but even the passionate supporters don't heckle in defiance. Didn't heckle in defiance. Well, that's because she didn't seem weak. Right? If she seemed weak, then people would start heckling. But she came off as confident, right? She came off as a mayor. So, yeah. Because the sigh of grief this old assemblyman made seemed long, deep, and heavy, like it came from his soul.
お人よが元から持っているもの、その再評価をマイントレジャー計画は望むだけです。
The reevaluation from scratch, what you've built up over a long time. Reevaluate from scratch what you've built up over a long time. If everyone really thinks it's a scar and a mistake, well, its answer would have the opposite effect.
父の愛したお人よを、その歴史を私は信じています。議員の皆様におかれましても、それは同様と信じます。
However,
よかご答弁をありがとうございます。
a deep bow. Assemblyman Shinohara holds his head low toward Paulette. Deeply, Paulette answers in kind.
市長、わしの質問ばこれで十分とです。
篠原議員の質問を終わります。他に質疑のある方はございませんか？
Assemblyman Shinohara ended his questioning period with some time on the clock. As a customary thing, the chairman asks if anyone has any other questions. Does Hoshimoto Tada have some fucking questions? Oh, never mind. I thought that was how it's gonna go, but everyone respects the old man, right? However, no one raises their hand. Everyone at the scene seems to feel like the questions already asked were enough.
なければ議決に入ります。まず、赤い阿蘇神社の文化財申請に関する議案。
Bro, that was like something that was like a thing that was brought up at the start of Paulette's route and has not been mentioned since until now. Jesus Christ. Before the chairman asks for raised hands, a number of hands go up. The chairman then officially asks for a show of hands to approve the remainder of the assembly, and the remainder of the assembly all raise their hands.
賛成多数と認め、本案を可決いたします。続いて、旧術先炭鉱の 技術継承担当としての女性申請案。
Following the chairman's statement, majority also raises their hands.
賛成多数と認め、本案を可決いたします。続いて、マイントレジャーによる術戦炭鉱地域再開発案。
A single hand raises. Assemblyman Shinohara raises his hand straight up. Little by little, other old assemblymen follow suit.
賛成の議員の方は挙手を願います。
It's far from unanimous. There are quite a number of assemblymen who are wearing bitter expressions, their arms closed.
賛成多数と認め、本案を可決いたします。
I meant crossed.
はーい。やったー。なぎちゃん。
傍聴席は静粛に願います。
Yeah, Doggy, shut the fuck up. Fukami's job is taken by the chairman today. As if she realized her mistake, Nagi covers her mouth with both hands. Koshomoto Tada, he's already left. When did he leave? I didn't even notice. I don't know, he probably left after the questioning. After listening to the hearing, he thought that it had ended, or maybe he just gave up. No, even if he didn't give up, nothing will change. With the passing of the proposal, the exclusive use of the riverbank is secured. The aircraft factory has nowhere to go now. Now that it's ended like this, cooperating with Mine Treasure and having it succeed is best for Kumamoto Bank too. I mean, true. I mean, like, where else are you gonna get the subsidiary subsidized? Yeah. A small impact accompanied by heat. After leaving the assembly hall, Paulette jumps to hug me.
私やりました。
うん。見ていた。とても見事だった。
And the only difference between last assembly and this one is this time she's dating the main character. Don't worry about all of the other things of how she's overworked, alright? It's purely because it's purely because of Sword Tetsu's yeah. She makes a proud smile. She's a completely different person from when she panicked at every heckle.
強くなったな、ポーレットは。
違いますよ、そうてつくん。二人で強くなったんです。
ああ。
It was by chance, but we're compatible. We complement and support one another nicely. We showed each other our scars, overcame them, and became stronger.
ならば、ご褒美をもらえるか。
I do wonder about something though. I'd been looking around the assembly from backstage. Could they see me from the assembly side?
奇遇ですね。私もご褒美、そうてつくんからもらいたいなって思ってました。
なら。
I don't care whether they see us or not. I have nothing to hide from anyone.
ポーレット。
Except that Paulette's in a position of power, and any scandal that comes out of whatever that comes out of anything that Sotetsu and Paulette do in public could ruin her reputation. You know, like in Hibiki's route, where the hecklers came after the fact that she's a woman and may or may not have feelings for someone. Okay, that's not exactly how it went, but it's similar.
そうてつくん。
We lightly embrace, and we give each other our reward. Yeah, but like, is a kiss really that big of a reward? They already did it before the assembly. Like, you know, Maitetsu. There could be some other things that would be more of a reward, right? Like, dick. Never mind.
信号進行よしすぐに上り勾配です。逆転機を。逆転機締め切り率 30%。では足りません。38% に。ストーブ客車の重量分、86には力が必要です。逆転機締め切り率37、38%。よし
This is... It would be rude of me to say that I doubted my eyes, but still, this is unbelievable.
26、27、28、29！なぎさんも上げてください。2分あたりであと10杯ずつ。了解ばい
After calling out to confirm, Nagi shovels in the coal with smooth movements. By doing only the bare minimum of movement, she scatters the coal into the hearth of 8620, igniting new flames. The steam whistle sounds out in victory. 8620 manages to overcome the slope. Fukami and Kisaki are in the passenger car for the trial run, but I'm sure they didn't even feel anything being off. It's perfect. They're no longer trainees. The two of them have matured greatly in such a short time. Hachinoku's directions, without hesitation, are able to fortify this teamwork of ours. I was wondering what she meant when she asked me to take the role of the coach. I hadn't intended on doing or saying anything until the last minute, but it seems even that's unnecessary. Everything's becoming clearer. I start to know why Hachinoku asked me to be the coach.
新鶴母駅通過よし
While saying that, Hibiki's fingers start to push forward. The brake pressure is increasing. I personally think it's too early, but whatever. It's fine. Hibiki would have decided that based on having the extra weight of the passenger car. Hachinoku isn't giving out directions anymore. Nagi isn't scooping any more coal. This is a smooth step-step slowdown. Step-step slowdown. 8620 slides into the Unai station.
停止位置確認ダンベガンブレーキよしお見事ばいまだ
Hibiki's words sharpen Nagi's smile.
そうだったばい今日は客車を引いているんだからここのじゃなくお客さんたちの評価を聞かないと
Hibiki and Nagi look at Hachinoku. Hachinoku gives a big nod of approval.
こちらは私がお二人は深見様と妃様とのご評価を聞いてきてくださいわかった聞いてくる
They really want to know how they did. Nagi and Hibiki fidget as they descend from the cab. Despite being in her tiny operation body, Hachinoku seems so big and dependable right now.
見事なものだな。
さようですねお若いとはいえこの短期間によくもここまで
無論、二人も見事だが、より見事なのは86だ。
I know what you're talking about, Hachinoku. Nagi and Hibiki are 18 years old. That's why they have routes, okay?
それこそ、この短期間によくも二人をあそこまで磨き上げたものだ。
A blank look gradually turns into a smile. A rather innocent smile, if you ask me.
そのことですか。でしたらそれは私だけの力ではございませんよ。
無論、彼女らの努力は極めて大きかろ
う。それも当然ございます。ですがもう一つ、 相鉄様のお力が。
僕
I'm caught off guard. As I ask her back, the thing is, though, I didn't do anything. Anything with two eyes. It's been a long time since I even got in the driving seat of 8620.
僕の力も何も。
Well, yeah, that's because you've been cheating on Hachiroku with Reina. I mean,
相鉄様は、お名前の通りの力を有しておられます。
you've been cheating on 8620 with Kiha 7.
名前
After being told that, I look back. Speaking of which, when Hachiroku and I first met, Hibiki's name, like that, is like that of an echo, and Makoda as cross ties, and my name, what?
相鉄様は、レールなのです。行くべき先を、まっすぐにお示しくださいます。
僕はレールか。
マイントレジャー計画を、お人よが、私たちが目指す未来を、相鉄様がまっすぐにお示しくださったから。
Yep. Hachiroku's doll-sized hand touches my right hand. She's not large enough to envelop my hand, but just being sandwiched between them feels warm and comforting.
だから、迷わず進めたのです。響も、凪も、私も。
そうか。
I was just trying to fulfill my objective. In the beginning, it was to protect Ohitoyo and the environment. Then the goal of having Hachiroku run again was added.
その都度必死で目の前のことに向き合っていただけだ。あるいは僕が一番先を見通せてなかったのかもしれん。
相鉄様。
Grip. Hachiroku clenches at my hand tighter. Her eyes fix on me. Her mouth opens, and then a few seconds pass. Soon I hear her clenching voice.
私と86とは、もう走れます。
Ah. I knew it. She asked me to watch because of this. They can run even as a team without me, and she wanted to show that to me. Well, that's because you'd be spending more time in Kiha 7.
僕は責任を果たせたのか。
Hachiroku breathes deeply, and lets out a sound as if she's being crushed. Her eyes waver to and fro on the floor. The fingers on my right hand let go briefly.
それは、さようかと思います。が、8620も私も、マスターなしでは不安です。
そうか。なら。
ですが、今ひとときのことならば、客車試験の間くらいは。
Hachiroku looks up in determination. She looks at me and wears a somewhat awkward smile.
頑張れます。相鉄様がいてくださらなくても、走れます。ですので、
Oops.
どうか。
Hachiroku's hand completely lets go of me. She hangs her tiny face.
レイナを、私の妹分を、よろしくお願いいたします。あの子もどうか、もう一度、不安なく走れるように。
With regards to Reina, there's nothing I can do. But if I am to be the rails, acting as I usually do is probably best.
レイナを支えるポーレットを僕は支えようと思う。きっとそれが一番良い結果につながるはずだ。
I will support Paulette, support Reina. Wouldn't it be supporting Reina? I don't know. Hachiroku's expression softens. Her fearful tension vanishes, and all that remains is a natural, gentle smile.
はい。相鉄様の信じるままになさるのが一番良いと、この86も信じます。
I brush her hair. I brush her hair as if petting a puppy. She trusts me implicitly, so I respond in kind.
ベストを尽くす。君たちが再び心置きなく走り出せるようにも。
はい。
なんだ？
I hear a banging noise on the side of 8620. I look over to the side window of the cab to see.
今、少しだけいいかな、相鉄。
なんだ君か、宝生妃。
なんだとは随分なご挨拶だね。上がらせてもらって平気かな。
キャブにか？無論構わんが。
あ、相鉄様。私、灰箱のお掃除をしてまいります。
うん。
Before I can stop her, Hachiroku changes into her maintenance body and trots down the cab.
相変わらず気の利く子だね、彼女は。
Kisaki walks in just as Hachiroku makes her remark and leaves. It's then that I understand. She left Hibiki at the passenger car to come to the cab by herself. That can only mean one thing.
何か内密の話があるのか？
うん。動揺を招きかねない。けど、君たちが知っておかねば危ういという話が一つ。
元正し絡みか。
僕の警告を気にしてくれていたようだね。嬉しいよ。
Although she says she's glad, her expression's still tense.
父は、マイントレジャー計画に一定の評価を与えている。が、それでも、エアクラ工場誘致の方が勝ると判断してる。
元正しの立場からすれば、そうだろうな。
For 10 or 20 years, it would most certainly provide more economic stability. That's a natural decision to make.
環境負荷のことと、将来的なことと考えないのなら、エアクラ工場誘致は確かに、優れた再生計画だから。
As I studied more on how to do the mine treasure plan, that became clearer. I mean, like, you know, Japanese people are very, well, people in general are very risk averse, right? And Japanese people especially. So, you know, it makes sense that he still prefers the aircraft plan because it has proven to be more stable than the mine treasure plan, right? I look at Kisaki for her reaction, since I acknowledge that fact, and shrug my shoulders a little.
しかし議会は、マイントレジャーの方がお人よの未来を託すのによりふさわしい計画だと、すでに判断している。
After the voting results, we in the municipality started acting. We proceeded with the founding of the third sector as the business entity, and then obtained exclusive rights to the riverbank.
すでに事態は行政レベルで動いているのだ。これを今から覆すのは、いかに元正しでも苦しかろ
う。Yeah, but like, he's waiting for you to fail, right?
だね。父もそう判断した。だから覆そうとはしてない。
もう。
一度は立たせて、その後潰す。父はそれを短期決戦で行う腹だ。
Right, he's you've won the battle, but I'm gonna win the war type guy.
短期決戦とは。
The moment I ask that, Kisaki's eyes begin to wander.
ここからが聞かれてはまずい話の中心なんだ。
She inches closer to me.
すまないそうです。耳を借りるよ。
大臣視察ですか？
Oh, there it is. I forgot her name, but there's the third Rail Lord.
経産大臣と文科大臣。
資源エネルギー庁と文化庁とそれぞれ所轄する大臣ですよね。
See, Dexter, and this is why you play the other characters' routes, so that you can see the third Rail Lord, alright?
ああ、
Well, it's suspicious of her own words, but Reverend Akai nods.
なるほど。つまりは技術継承担保の認定と文化財認定とにそれぞれ権限を持っている方々ですか。
はい、そうなります。その方々がお人よへの視察を予定しておられると。
予定って
Well, it's still suspicious. It could be because the situation is so abnormal that she doesn't understand. Or perhaps the situation is so abnormal that she's subconsciously refusing to understand.
予定は予定だ。来月10日にお二方揃ってお人よへの視察を予定しておられるそうだ。
I mean, look, this is a very clear way to extend the length of her route. Like, if this was the Mototada in Hibiki's route and Hachiroku's route, this wouldn't happen.
予定
But I guess the solution is different in those two routes. Well, its tone and complexion suddenly shifts.
だってそんな急すぎませんか。来月の10日とかいくらなんでも。
This is more like a situation of in Hibiki's and Hachiroku's routes, it was a telling Mototada that it's a bad idea to build the factory and why it's a bad idea. In this case, it's more like not allowing him to go along with the plan of building the aircraft factory. So it's a bit different.
いくらなんでも急すぎ、準備が間に合わん。それこそが宝生元忠の狙いなわけだ。
宝生さんの
He's at a loss for at a loss as to what to do. Paulette's expression hardens and she goes silent.
えげつなかとね。
Cursing murmurs echo in the solemn silence.
マイントレジャー計画ば潰そういうこつかね。
ですね。視察でどうしようもないと判断されれば、降りるはずの認可も降りなくなる。
They're trying to find a kink in the armor. The approval of the technology succession of Jutsusen coal mine and cultural property designation of Akayasu Shrine. If the former doesn't get approved, it'll be even more difficult to make ends meet. If the latter doesn't get approved, we'll lose the deciding factor in getting new tourists.
そうなってしまえば、収支計画に暗雲が立ち込め、出資をためらう者が出てきてしまうかもしれません。
確かな話ならば至急の対策が必要となりましょうが、その情報の出所は。
宝生妃、熊本銀行お人よし店長です。
宝生さんのお嬢さんですか。
Reverend Akai's surprised expression reminds me of something. Reverend Akai was tired beyond belief when we first met. It could be because he was cringing at Kisaki trying to recruit him for support of the factory.
妃は響の学園での先輩でもあるのです。それで、
I tell him about the circumstances and Reverend Akai nods. But Paulette's expression is still stiff.
どうして木崎さんはその話を相鉄くんに。
I don't know, it's probably because she's a route, so the writers want to make her likable.
伝え方が難しいと思ったそうだ。
If this information gets out carelessly, it would cause unnecessary confusion. It may even cause ill effects on the foundation of the third sector. Because she was worried about that, Kisaki first told me only in private.
つまり、僕なら最適の形を選べると思ってくれたそうだ。ポーレット、君へといつどのように伝えるか。
それで ですか。
Paulette's still looking confused. Starts glancing around to Reverend Akai, the Tororu Hot Springs owner. I love that. Is that really how we're going to fucking address her this entire visual novel? Did the writers not think of a name? Her name is just Tororu Hot Springs owner. I forgot to add the part at the start of it, but Reina sitting obediently in Paulette's lap, and to Nidoku, that's her name, on the chair, not reacting to any of the news.
それで皆さんをお呼びした上でこういう形で伝えてくれた？
Yeah, but like, is Nidoku gonna say anything? Because if she isn't going to say anything, what's the point of her having her fucking portrait on the screen? Up until this point, Paulette's likely just been suppressing her dissatisfaction or doubts. But now there's an obvious pouting tone in her voice.
以前のポーレットにであれば、もう少し慎重に伝えていたかもしれん。
Yeah, but now she's got the chops of an actual mayor. For example, I'd find the time alone with her, and then calm her down while thinking of the best countermeasure. If I didn't do that, I'd worry that Paulette would misjudge the situation.
しかし、今のポーレットとならば大丈夫だと考えた。今の僕らなら支え合い、より良い判断を下せると。
She nods. A slight tint of red comes to her cheeks. Her cloudy expression clears up. Her voice and expression become brighter. Not to Paulette, but with Paulette. That's how I'm choosing my words.
お三方をお呼びしたのは、この案件がお三方に密接に影響するとも考えたからです。
Which is why I can't direct my words only at Paulette. Just like how Reverend Akai told me earlier, the situation calls for immediate attention.
お三方ですか？
Reverend Akai quietly looks over Nidoku. Nidoku's mouth finally moves.
何でもいい。もう一度でも走れるのなら、それだけでいい。
Wow.
ということだが、レイナ、どうだ？
Please don't tell me that's the only thing she says.
レイナは、
With Rana still on her lap, Paulette gently rubs her cheeks. Her cheek on Paulette. Jesus. Paulette gently rubs her cheek on Rana's hair. Rana's eyes widen, but then a gentle voice begins echoing in the room.
私の望みならね、レイナ。レイナの本当の望みを飾らず聞かせてもらうこと。はいです。
Rana stands up straight. Then she trots over in front of Nidoku and embraces her with both arms. Thank God.
ですね。26ちゃん、木原玲奈々はとっても素敵な機動車なんです。
If I was gonna be like, if they didn't fucking show a CG of Reina and Nidoku, I was gonna get pissed. Especially since Nidoku has only said one thing. Reina gives a big smile. While Nidoku is completely aloof, Reina simply talks to her happily.
だからレイナ、26ちゃんにも走らせてほしいって思ってるんです。レイナと2人、代わり番号で。
And guess what? Dexter's missing out on all of this because he's too busy talking with lolly chatbots. Also, where the fuck did Reina's hat go?
なら。
Nidoku remains motionless. Still sitting down, she doesn't reciprocate Reina's outstretched hand.
ならば、自分は。
It should be outstretched hands. You got both hands in the CG. But there is some heat in her voice. It's a different color from before.
レイナ、ポーレットにお願いします。それから、赤い宮司さんにもお願いします。
Rena bows deeply.
レイナとキハレイナナを回収させてください。ガソリン気動車の昔の姿に。
Without fearing, without hesitating, Paulette agrees to Rena's wish. But Rena still has her head down, continuing to communicate how strong she desires this.
それで、26ちゃんにも、レイナのバックアップデータ、あげてください。
私に稲屋があろうはずもありません。これでこいつが再び走れるというのなら。
Reminikai goes toward Rena. He kneels on the floor without hesitation, and bows even deeper than Rena.
やめてくださいよ。
感謝します、レイナさん。こいつにそこまでを許してくれて。
そんなの当たり前ですよ。
Rena gives a soft smile. Gentle and warm, just like how Rena always is. But this time she seems a bit more mature.
レイナ、26ちゃんのお姉さんなんですから。
Oh, that's right. Just like how Hachiroku cares for Rena, Rena does the same for Niroku. Rail Lords are all connected, just like we humans are. Or perhaps they are tied by something stronger.
というのが私たちの希望なんですけれど、技術的にはどうでしょうか。
ノーリスクとはいかんばい。レイナーの記憶に何らかの障害が出る危険性があるけんね。
レイナはどう？
レイナ、それでもへいちゃらです。だって、もしもレイナが今のレイナと違っちゃっても、ポーレットは、それから相鉄さんも。
もちろんよ、レイナ。
I nod, too. Reina's eyes look straight forward.
変わらず接する。今のレイナと同じに。
We share a bond. If she suffers damages from her memory, that would be unfortunate, but our bond cannot be severed that easily.
はいです。
A big smile. Reina's words are filled with confidence.
だからレイナ、なんにも怖くありません。
Yeah, but like the real question is how is this problem dealt with in Reina's route, right? Are we going to do the exact same thing as in Paulette's route, or are we gonna have some fucking somnophilia in the CGs or whatever?
なら、そいはそいでよか。で、
何を失っても構わん。だから、再び走らせてくれ。
Is Reina gonna like fucking pass out in the middle of the hate scene or whatever?
こいつの望む通りにどうか。
話が早かね。
A page of a notebook is torn out, and she writes something down.
なら、恋が見積もりばい。
200,000 yen. Data manipulation. 100,000 yen multiplied by 2. It's a simple estimate, yet Paulette seems terribly surprised.
レイルロードの調整だけだって、とてもこんなお値段じゃ。
払えるようになったらもっと稼がせてもらうけん。今回んとこはそれでよかとよ。
ありがとうございます。
で、いつから取り掛かっと？こっちはいつからでもよかっけん。
ならば、今すぐに。レイナも、それで平気ですよ。
Paulette also nods. That's enough to decide things.
であるのならば、付き添ってやれ。
はい。
Just for a moment, her blue eyes look at me. It seems as if she wants to depend on me or something. But right away, she smiles and closes her eyes, hiding whatever emotion it was. hiding whatever emotion it was.
その間、相鉄くんにはいろいろお願いしちゃいますね。
ああ、
We don't have enough time to prepare. We have to start with anything that we can.
気を張る。
ああ、
It seems that they can communicate with just that. Reverend Akai turned straight to me.
私にも何かできることがあれば言ってください。
大臣視察までにパンフレットを作成したいと思います。響にも協力をしてもらって。
While saying that, I come up with a single idea. That's it. This is the Japan's best that I've been asked to find.
ですので、基準馬に関する画像資料をできるだけ他の面でも活用させてもらいたく思いますので。
わかりました。抜き出して整理しておきましょう。他には？
今はひとまずそれだけで、むしろ赤い宮司には26の改修完了後ご活躍願いたく思っております。すみません、こんな時間に来ていただいて。
全然。だってお弁当の話なんでしょ？
はい。
お弁当？
Sitting in front of me, Hibiki seems to be caught off guard. She is my family, my sister, if you will. I'll explain things to her later.
うん。観光振興の重要な一助となろうかと考え、お人よしらしい駅弁の開発をお願いしているのだ。
I start from there and give an explanation to Hibiki. Still, looking back now, I think everything began with the talks of making a station lunchbox. Yeah, at the start of the fucking route.
じゃあ、私は駅弁のパッケージ書けばよかったね。
Or Hitoyo will make the best ekiben.
掛け紙。
掛け紙。
Why is wrapping paper here refers to the ones...
駅弁の包装紙のことですね。掛け紙っていう古い呼び方が今でも鉄道関係では主流です。列車旅行の思い出に掛け紙をコレクションしておくっていうのは割とメジャーな趣味。
Okay, that's actually interesting. You know what? I understand why it's highlighted. Hibiki laughs at hearing that specialized question mark term in stereo. What? What a sentence. She then opens up her sketchbook and makes a serious face.
で、その駅弁の掛け紙、どんな絵柄にするんです？
I don't know, you put the fucking Kijuma on, you put fucking Hachiroku on, you put fucking all...
さて、それなのだが、僕は基準馬を一つのキーにできないだろうかと考えている。
That was one of the three things I mentioned. Mrs. Nagayama scoffs us through her nose.
まあ、妥当よね。赤井さん、それで文化財申請でしょ？でも、生地馬、鶏肉と馬肉？
それでも良いのですが、基準馬はせっかくこんなに可愛らしいものですので。
I received copies from Reverend Akai, so I spread them out for a better look. There are some familiar Kijiyuma, and there are others of many sizes.
例えば、何かの食材を基準馬に見立てることはできないでしょうか。
鮎の甘露煮。
One suggestion, and Mrs. Nagayama responds immediately. Her eyes are fixed on the photo references.
それいいかも。鮎もお人よの超名物だし。
After the idea comes up, Hibiki's hand starts drawing frantically. Two. That's right. It could be stewed in soy sauce, simply salted and broiled, or smoked too. A more esoteric way to eat sweet fish is sushi. To eat is sweet fish sushi. That's commonly eaten in Ohitigo.
なんで気づかなかったんだろう。見慣れすぎかな。とにかく、鮎の甘露煮よ。あと、人参の煮物ね。
なるほど。人参の煮物が車輪ですか。それはいい。味的にも相性バッチリに思えますし。
もちろん、バッチリにまとめるの。こっちはそれが仕事なんだから。
よし兄さん、こんな感じでどうでしょう。
もう書いたのか。
当然ですよ。こっちはこれが仕事ですから。
What do you mean your livelihood? You aren't making money off of these designs. Oh, she imitates Mrs. Nagayama's words while opening her sketchbook for us to see. Where'd the fucking bear come from?
キジ馬のそのままとか、擬人化とか、萌えキャラ化とかも考えてたんですけど、いまいちで。
I mean, I get like the fucking mining hat and pickaxe because you're also marketing the coal mine, but like the bear? I mean, yeah, I guess because of Kumamoto, right? Because Kuma means bear. I don't know. They'll probably explain it. As she'd been drawing and erasing for a while, there are numerous rough sketches that are crossed out. As an amateur, they all look fine to me, but if Hibiki says they're not good, I'm sure she's right.
で、今のできました。アイディアをくれって。キジ馬なんだし、馬にしちゃえばよかったんだって。
馬なら、上に誰かが乗るの？
そうです。大正解。上には熊川ですから当然。
Okay, that is exactly what... Because Kuma River, yeah, that's exactly... I was thinking Kumamoto, right? But she's going more specific.
熊か。
That's what I said.
そう、その名も、じゃじゃーん、キジくんまちゃん。
わ
Why did that wow sound so fucking condescending?
これは、単純に可愛いな。
There's a bear riding the Kijiuma. It has a helmet and pickaxe like a miner with a confident face.
それに、どこか懐かしくもある。
Oh, that's right. It's Kuma Kuma. It's Hibiki's friend and teddy bear from when we first met. Yeah, but like, that, wouldn't make any fucking sense if you didn't already play through Hibiki's route to know that she had a stuffed bear when she was younger. Miner with a confidence face. Listen, alright, it's spelled differently. It does appear, the typo. Hang on. What? Right. Listen, alright? It's the same word. It just isn't grammatically correct. It does appear different, but those innocent eyes remind me of it.
甲府姿ということは、マイントレジャーにも絡ませるのだな。
前からそれも考えてましたし、さっき兄さん、キーって言いましたから。
うん。僕としては大賛成だ。無論、ポーレットたちの意見も聞かねばなるまいが。
それじゃあ、長山さんはどうですか？
Listen, something's wrong with Nagayama. She hasn't moved for like the last minute and a half.
オッケー。来たこれ。
Without looking up to Hibiki's questioning, Mrs. Nagayama appears to be writing a memo. She's writing down a recipe at an amazing speed.
石炭でしょ？黒ごまを衣に混ぜた石炭唐揚げ。
それ美味しそう。
あとは熊なら蜂蜜ね。甘露煮に蜂蜜使って、デザートにも蜂蜜と柚子のゼリーをつける。
すごい。全部お人よの特産。
箸休めにこれも特産のわさび漬けで、お米も熊本米で、地産地消の名物駅弁出来上がり。
おお。
It's a chain reaction, an extremely good chain reaction at that. Hibiki and Mrs. Nagayama stimulated each other for this result. Huh? What do you mean by that?
これはいけそうな気がするな。
Stimulated each other, huh?
そう？なら試作するわね。材料も吟味したいし、1週間もらえるかな？
わかりました。では、1週間後で。
We have a tough schedule ahead of us. Waiting a week makes me nervous. But I'd rather have her do this slowly, but surely, and just finalize it in one shot.
オッケー。じゃあ、1週間後の今日のお昼に市役所に持っていくわね。
了解しました。よろしくお願いします。
じゃあ、私もそれまでにもうちょっとまとめとく。
すまんが、それもよろしく頼む。
って、ニーに出かけるの？
ああ、慌ただしくて申し訳ない。
No, he's probably gonna hang out with his girlfriend.
そういうもんでしょ？こういう時は。
You know, he's leaving Hibiki and Nagayama to stimulate to going back to stimulating each other or whatever. God damn it. Why did they have to say it like that? While saying that Mrs. Nagayama was already has already gotten up to leave.
確かに、だな。そういうもんだ。
Now that things have direction, we just have to move on to the next step. Without a clear-cut direction, we can't even put together something haphazardly.
そういうもんって何してくるの？
美濃笠さんのところにもご相談だ。職人周りをできる限りまとめていただきたいのでな。
ああ、マイントレジャーの宝箱？
ああ。
That's not all. With the repair of Kiha 7, there's work to be done on the train itself. We all definitely need the help of Minokasa and the other craftsmen.
そっか。ニーにも大変だね。本当に。
いや。
It's not tough. Not in the least.
大部分はポーレットに任せておけるからな。僕はその隙間を埋めればいいだけだ。
Which is fine by me. I find that kind of thing fulfilling. I can rest assured and trust that she's taking care of what she said he said she'd take care of. Jesus. Having someone like that makes me happy.
ああ、そっか。そうだよね。わかってたけど、やっぱそういうことだよね。
What?
No!
My back stings. In unexpectedly powerful pain. Hibiki slapped me on the back as hard as she could.
響き、何を？
It was for some stimulation, right? You know. Her experience as an engineer's assistant has clearly given her brute strength that she didn't have before. Well, yeah, that's because she is used to shoveling fucking tons of coal. That shock and surprise and the sheer strength makes my words of complaint fragmented.
何言って。あ 後押しですよ、兄さん。かわいい兄さんの妹の。
My back still stings as Hibiki pushes me from behind. She's pushing me even with her forehead, not letting me turn around.
ほら、さっさと言ってください。言って幸せになってください。
言われずとも言ってくる。
Tap. The door shuts behind me. What's with all the connection? What's with all the commotion behind me? I can hear Hibiki's cheerful voice.
いってらっしゃい。バイバイ、ニーニー。
Wow. Maitetsu. I don't have anything to say with this transition like I did with the other two. 3? I don't remember how many chapters we're up to.
早すぎたか。
Actually, I can check right now. We are up to 15. Oh, okay, so, you know, normally this would probably be the last chapter, right? Around there. But, I think we're, you know, the thing with Polaris Route is that they've included a conflict that shouldn't be here, right? So now we've got to include some extra chapters that aren't about how Reina is going to lose her memories because we need to fix her. It's already past midnight. I'd gotten a call from Paulette, so I hurried here.
いささか気がせきすぎてしまったか。徒歩の方が良かったかもしれんな。
Paulette and the others would probably be using the ground aircraft to get to Tororu Hot Springs. Because I flew here, it seems that I've arrived too early.
合鍵は預かってはいるが。
But I don't feel like it's right of me to enter into someone else's castle. Yeah, but like, you got a spare key just in case you need to, right? And the summer night is comfortable. Feeling the wind, it shouldn't be bad. Chirp, chirp. I stay quiet and hear the chirping of insects around me. I see. The summer is about to end.
あ、ポーレット、相鉄さんです。
I hear footsteps cutting through the night. I also hear footsteps in matched strides.
なんだ、歩いて帰ってきたのか。
近くですし、気持ちいい夜でしたから。
Paulette's voice is happy. I didn't feel that it was right to ask over the phone, so I purposefully didn't bring it up.
レイナ、回収はどうだった？
I mean, considering that she hasn't lost her memories, I think it went well.
へーちゃらでした。あっという間にレイナのロールバック終わっちゃいました。
So then, are you telling me that if it's in Reina's route, it'll also go as well?
うん。よく頑張ったな。
Because like it's not like Reina's it's not like this issue is going to be solved in Reina's route, right? It's going to come up again.
レイナ、眠ってただけですよ。
An expression tinted with confusion and embarrassment. She looks tickled when I pat her on the head.
眠っていても頑張ったのさ。
And now Reina no longer has narcolepsy. That's why she didn't need to let go of her memory. Because Railord memory isn't data. Reina's will and wish should affect the results.
中入りましょう。こんな時間に立ち話もあれですし。
ああ、そうだな。
レイナ、鍵開けますね。
She trots over to the door and then happily turns the key to open it. The lights flip on. That by itself is calming. Possibly from the results of the repair, or being released from worry, Reina is much more springy than usual. It's as if she can't wait to move her body around. That sort of feeling seems to be emitted from her.
どうやら何の支障も生じなかったようだな。
Wouldn't it seems to be emitting from her, or seems to emit from her? I don't know. I just don't feel like the past tense of emit is the right word to put there.
まだわからないそうです。不具合の発生確率は一時に処理する情報量に比例するそうですから。
そういうものか。いや、そういうものだろうな、当然に。
The information rolled back included the operation controls of Kiha 7 and the maintenance information. And the memories attached to that data. I doubt memories of the rail shop will be pulled too.
キハ07の回収や回収後運転の時などに。
はい。出ちゃうとしたらそういう時だろうって、トロルユさんもおっしゃってました。
Bullet's voice doesn't have a dark tone to it. Even if problems do occur, she's sure that we can overcome them.
居眠りを解消できたかの確認も含め、できる限り早期に試験運転をしたいものだな。
はい。相鉄くんの方は。
その辺も含めお話ししてきた。ミノカサさんもすぐに動いてくださるそうだ。
よかった。ありがとうございます。
She gives a sigh of relief and then turns back to it. Leans back on a chair.
キハ07の復旧回収はかなり簡単にできそうなんです。
そうなのか。
はい。鉱山鉄道の技師さんたちはもともとディーゼル乾燥は無理筋だって分かってたみたいです。
Does that mean the management level forced that change?
足回りや OS 周りに過負荷がかかることを承知で、それでもディーゼル化を進める必要があって。
Bullet's calm voice seems to confirm my suspicions.
だからなんだと思いますけど、乾燥は復旧を前提にされていたんです。
すぐに元のガソリン気動車に戻せるようにか。
そうです。でも復旧可能にするための各種の機構はディーゼル気動車として稼働する上では不可ですよね。
その負荷もまたレイナの、あるいはキハ07の不安定さの一因となった。
もうあるってトロルユさんは OS 面でも冗長な独自処理が目立ったそうです。
An ambiguous nod. That seems a little troubled.
けどそうしておいてもらえたから私たちは今すごく助かってるわけですし。
そうだな。そうした全てを含め僕らはレイナを託されたんだ。
ですよね。
A relieved expression. Her relaxed body gets up.
ロールバックをできたこと、レイナにとって複数の意味でいいことだって今は素直に思います。
No matter how much of a burden it may become, we should respect it. We should accept it and take it with us going forward. What we're doing is the same as doing a freight transport, or perhaps it's the making of history for humankind.
レイナが託してもらったものをフルに生かそう。それがレイナにも僕らにも、きっとお人よにも一番いい。
はい。お茶です。どうぞ。
あ、すまんな。
One drink and I feel something. The flavor of today's tea is richer than usual.
よいしょ。
Brenda jumps on Pollard's lap happily, and then takes out her flask.
ああ、それはもうすでにガソリンなのか。
そうですよ。ポーレット、お祝いにハイオクを買ってくれました。
She got the premium shit.
そうか。どっちがうまい？
どっ っちも美味しいですよ。コクがあるとキレがあるの違いなのです。
Listen, all I'm saying is that I'd much prefer to drink unleaded than fucking diesel.
なるほどな。と、美味しいといえば、弁当の件もかなり進んだ。
駅弁ですね。
うん。献立のアイディアはだいぶ固まった。1週間後には試食品を持ってきてくれるそうだ。
楽しみです。献立ってどんな感じになりそうですか？
キジュマをキーとするお弁当で行ってみることとなった。主役となるキジュマは、鮎の甘露煮で作るそうだ。
We also had the idea of horse meat, but we shot that down quickly because horse meat is very expensive and we don't want to go over budget.
言われると似てるかも。
I explained to Paulette about the whole chain reaction that happened between Mrs. Nagayama and Hibiki when putting together the menu.
きっと可愛くって美味しいお弁当になりますね。
Yeah, Hibiki and Nagayama really stimulated themselves. Stimulated each other really well.
本当楽しみ。あ、でも私の分もあるのかな？
ああ、試作だし、一つだけかもしれんな。その場合は、分け合って食べる形でどうだろう。
それいいと思います。
Paulette's fingers wander about as if she's holding onto chopsticks. Her mouth opens and closes, then she clears her throat.
楽しみですね、お弁当。
だな。
っていうか、ありがとうございます。私、任せきりにしちゃって。
お互い様だ。僕も多くをポーレットに任せているわけだしな。
あ、そうでした。
She clears her throat, as if she just remembered something.
報告遅れちゃいましたけど、26ちゃんの回収も回収終了時では何の問題もなく成功しました。
26は何か言っていたか？
特には、ただ、キハ07が大根だからですかね。思ったよりもややこしいとかは言ってました。
What the fuck is a decon?
エンジンに流す燃料の量を調整するハンドスロットル。大根ハンドルだとか、ギアとかブレーキとか、そういうのを直接手で操作するタイプの運転操作のことを直接制御方式、ダイレクトコントロールって言います。
それを短く言うと大根になりますね。キハ07は大根方式の運転操作系統で、広い意味だと8620もやっぱり大根方式ですね。
運転操作のほとんどを一つのハンドルで半自
Okay, I kind of get it.
大根？
Okay. Look at Raina's legs. The flesh she has is at a minimum. I wouldn't liken her to a daikon radish, but more like a burp dog. What the fuck?
違いますよ、相鉄くん。大根はダイレクトコントロール。直接制御方式のことです。
ああ、レイナナの運転装置の話か。
I'm convinced now, but I still have my doubts. Compared to Hachiroku's driving device, I thought that was very simple.
クハ26はマスコン搭載車両だったんで、だから。
マスコン？
Yeah, you can't make a pun with Mascon.
マスターコントローラーです。電気制御で、四輪自動車のオートマチックみたいな運転装置です。
なんと、そんな便利なものがあるのか。
Manipulating the gears, which in Hachiroku's case is to use minute movements on the reversing gear if the steam amount is controlled automatically.
それは楽だな。 それと比べれば、8620やキハ07は、旧式のマニュアル操作に感じるわけか。
そうです。だからちょっと戸惑ったみたいで。でも赤い宮司は大根操作経験もあるそうですから。
人がレールロードに運転操作を指導するのか。
よほどの不具合が出ちゃえばですよね。でもトロルユさんは問題なさそうって言ってました。
そうか。
She looks at in all of Raina's backup data, so if there are no inconsistencies, the state-of-the-art top model Raillord should be also at the should be also to that and then some.
赤い宮司とも、も
はい、26ちゃんを迎えに来てくださったんで、その時に。
She gives a smile and a giggle.
赤い宮司さん、すごく喜んでらっしゃいました。できることがあれば何でも手伝うって言ってくれて。
う。なら、というのもあれだが。
はい、大臣視察で市長の私が欠席はできませんから、その時のキハ07の運転お願いして OK もらいました。
そうか。
It doesn't feel right for me to ask prior to the repair, but Paulette went and asked him. Calling it telepathy would be an exaggeration, but I do think our teamwork is good.
しかし、それだとレイナに少し気の毒をすることになるな。
Raina becomes surprised due to being put on the spot directly.
せっかく回収したキハ07なのに、訓練もあるし、レイナはしばらく動かせそうに。
ああ、そのことだったら平気ですよ。だって代わり番号ですから。
Raina gives a bright, innocent smile.
忙しいのが終わったら、レイナ、思いっきりに動かすのです。
それはいいな。その時は僕にも同情させてくれ。
ああ、嬉しいです。なら約束ですね、ポーレット。
うん。
We use both our hands to create a circle for a pinky promise. Satisfied with that, Raina starts climbing onto Raina's lap again.
でだ。過去に炭鉱で働いてた方々とテーマパークのキャストだったかの募集については、
枕さんにお願いしてあります。キャストの方は駅張りポスターと中吊りとで募集します。
ああ、枕ねえなら間違いないな。とはいえ、
Being caught off guard, my entire body twitches. In the next moment, Raina panics even more than me.
レイナ、処理落ちとかじゃないですよ。
わかってる。ごめんね。こんなに夜更かしさせちゃうことってないもんね。
Yeah, this is actual tiredness. It's not narcolepsy anymore. I thought she was a bit quiet. Raina must have been trying to ward off drowsiness the whole time.
長話をしてしまったな。今日はここまでにしよう。レイナ、ゆっくり休んでくれ。
I mean, I try to ward off drowsiness by, like, talking, but I guess not talking also works.
はい。おやすみなさい、ポーレット、ソーテツさん。
おやすみ、レイナ。
The way she seems to drag her feet makes me start to feel sleepy. By the time Raina has left, an awkward silence overtakes us. I wonder why.
ソーテツくん、よければこのまま泊まっていきませんか？
A part of me hoped for something like this. That's why I decide to respond with words from my heart.
明日がなければ泊まっていきたい。が、今は。
ああ、ですよね。 少しでも準備進めなきゃですもんね。
Damn. I was hoping Sotetsu would get some sloppy, but I guess not yet. You're gonna have to wait until after the game. You're gonna have to wait until after the route. Well, it may have expected that response from me. Although she sounds a little disappointed, there isn't a hint of her feeling down, which provides some relief.
すいません。つまらないことで引き止めちゃって。
つまらないことなんかじゃないさ。
An embrace and a kiss. I feel as if that's enough to recover from the fatigue.
引き止めてもらえて嬉しかった。おかげで明日も頑張れる。
私もです。そうてつくん。
We kiss a few more times before gently letting go of our embrace.